Hey, hope you're doing well. Today I'm back with a quick video on scaling your service-based business. So I know that a lot of us that have started out as virtual assistants end up in a position where we've grown our business to a point where there isn't really much more that we can do if we continue in the same way as we've been working up to this point. So you will normally find that you may be maxed out on the number of clients that you can support, particularly if you're charging on an hourly basis right now. There's only so many hours that you can actually work. Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today I want to share 3 areas that you can look at in your business when you are considering scaling up to the next level. So if we're being realistic, everyone hits a time in their business where realistically they can't really do much more work than they are already doing. So if you're currently operating on an hourly basis, you will just find that you've maxed out the amount of hours that you have available to work, and you've increased your prices a few times, and you're now kind of at the max that you can realistically charge without, going overboard, and you are out of time. So there isn't really much more that you can do on that front. Or if you're not charging hourly, you might just find that you're completely booked out with projects and the price is going up and the waiting list is getting even longer. And you just feel like you're leaving a lot of opportunities for growth behind. You're having to turn people away. And that's a really good time for you to start thinking about how you can really scale up and take your business to the next level. So today I want to share 3 areas in your business that you can look at to see if it may be an opportunity for you to change what you're doing and to generate some additional revenue without necessarily overloading yourself with work. So the 3 things that I want to talk about, number 1, is if you're currently charging for your time on an hourly basis, then shifting that towards charging for the value that you deliver for your clients instead of getting paid by the hour. If you're already a designer that's charging fixed package prices for your work, then this point isn't going to be so helpful for you. But I know that a lot of the people that follow me are virtual assistants or aspiring virtual assistants. So a lot of us have been in the boat where we were charging hourly because it's like the default way that things are done, if that makes sense. The second area that we're going to look at is to grow that business into an agency. So it's a different business model. It won't suit everyone, but it is something that I know an awful lot about because that's the route I took. And then number 3 would be adding additional revenue streams to the business. So not all of these are going to be right for you. Not all of these are even going to be an option for you, but I want to run through them and share with you what you might want to look at in each of those 3 areas. So if you're currently charging hourly, one of the things that you can do is, instead of just being plain paid for your time, is you can shift to charging for value. So you might find that this is something that seems really, really off to you. I remember that's how it felt like for me when somebody first told me about charging for the value that you deliver instead of charging for the hours that you've worked. And that's because a lot of us have come from employment, and the way it works in employment is that you get paid for the amount of hours that you work. And if you ask to work less hours, even if you're still getting the job done, you would still get paid less, right? So a lot of us are in this mindset that making more money takes more hours. And if we're out of hours, well, then we can't make any more money. However, there are certain areas in your business that you have gained quite a lot of expertise on through your work that you've been doing with clients. And a lot of those are something that can actually be packaged up. So an example of that would be, instead of charging for your social media support on an hourly basis, you would package up the types of support that you offer and sell that to the client. And then the client knows that they pay, for example, $600 to have ABC done every month and get these kind of results. So instead of you saying, I'll work for you for 10 hours for the same price, you just charge for the value and the final product and service that you're actually delivering, rather than going as far as telling them how many hours you work. Because you will find that as you get better and better and better at what you do, actually the amount of time it takes you to complete tasks gets shorter and shorter. And I find that often we end up doing more and more work in the same amount of hours because we just get better at what we do. And the client gets way more value from it, but we're not getting paid for that value that we're delivering to the client. So So if you're currently charging on an hourly basis, look at all the areas and all the things that you do for your clients right now and see if there is a way to group some of them together and sell that as a package rather than selling your actual time. The second thing that you can do if your work is really broad right now is you can look at developing more skills and really niching down in one area of your business that you really enjoy working in. So you've been doing this for some time, at least a few months, some of you maybe even a few years before you get to this point. So it could be that there's something in your work that you find just super fascinating and you could talk about that all day long. I would consider really upskilling in that area and investing in myself to get to the point where I can focus the majority of my work only on doing the bit that I really love and then charge according to the results that you're getting. So these might even be, for example, you might be currently building sales funnels for your clients, but you might have found that you really enjoy working with your own team on that kind of stuff rather than having to get the copy from the client and get the design from the designer. You might want to do this kind of stuff yourself, and you might have some amazing skills there that you're currently not utilizing because of, a lot of us get the whole imposter syndrome thing, right? Where you're like, oh, I'm not good enough. Who am I to be doing this? So if you can't find the current area in your business that you're able to package up, look for a new area that you can develop some additional skills in that you can then sell on a package basis, not on an hourly basis. Okay, point number 2, grow an agency. So if you actually like the hourly business model, and I know that I did, something that you can do is to build up an agency. So instead of you being the person that does all the work, you hire other people that you train and monitor. They do the bulk of the work, and you are the one that has the communication with clients, talks about the more complicated things. You jump into projects as and when they seem stuck, or there's technical issues that your team members can't resolve, that kind of thing. The problem with that is that obviously you have to have a certain amount of skills for finding people, for training them, mentoring them, and monitoring the work that they produce and the quality of it. So that changes your job completely from being the person that does the work to being the person that supervises other people. And I know lots of people that really hate that kind of work. So in that case, an agency model is not going to work for you unless you're going to outsource the monitoring and communication part and just focus on the sales and content creation for your business. So if you're taking on a team member and an OBM, then that might be something that would work really well for you. So even if you don't like managing people, I would consider that as a valid option if I could get some support for the daily communication bits that you find really annoying. So I wouldn't discount the agency model straight off the bat, even if working with a team is not necessarily what floats your boat as such. I will do a completely separate video on how to change your business into an agency. Because there are so many different pieces that I found over the years where I made mistakes, things I didn't consider. I've helped other people do the same thing now, and there are always questions that come up, and I think it deserves its completely separate video. Another thing to bear in mind with the agency model is that your pricing really has to support that, because you need to outsource to contractors. You have possibly the additional cost of an OBM if you're taking on somebody, and you have to make sure that the revenue that you generate in your business brings in enough to actually leave you with a solid profit. So that's something that, for example, when I do coaching with people, we look at really intensely, because there are a lot of hidden costs to running a business as an agency. So for example, your free Asana account might not cut it anymore. It could be that you're needing the paid features. So suddenly that requires an upgrade. And then you'd assumed you're paying this much out to the contractor, but there's been some other things involved where they've had to do more work than was anticipated, and suddenly you haven't really budgeted for that, and then it all becomes like a little bit difficult. So there are certain things that you really have to pay attention to when you're building up an agency. And like I said, separate video, and if you're interested in working on this on a one-to-one basis, then please use the link at the bottom to book a call with me, and we can talk about what your plans are. Point number 3 for scaling your service-based business would be adding additional revenue streams. So if you're doing anything in the tech realm and you're not making use of affiliate commissions, then you are really missing out, because lots of the tech providers have an affiliate scheme or a partner scheme. They call it different things, but The bottom line is whenever you refer somebody new to that product and they sign up, you can get a monthly commission. ClickFunnels offers, I think, something like 40%. ConvertKit is, I think, a 20% payout. So there are lots of affiliate schemes for the products that you use and love that you're constantly recommending for people. And if you're currently not getting paid for making those recommendations, then I strongly recommend that you sign up for the affiliate scheme, get your special affiliate link, and then you can give that out to people whenever you recommend something or you help them in Facebook groups and things like that. The second thing that you might want to consider is courses and info products. So if you're currently a designer, for example, and you've maxed out on what you feel comfortable charging on your packages, and your waiting list is getting longer and longer, but a lot of inquiries are from people who aren't necessarily those really high-end clients that you want to work with, maybe there's an offer that you can put together to sell to the people who are no longer your ideal clients, who can't afford those high-level prices that you want to be charging. And a great way to still help those people and get the additional revenue is to actually create courses and info products. So it then becomes a done with you or a DIY kind of version of the high-end service that you are selling. And another thing that I know many of us are passionate about is helping other people to do what you've done. So that's something that I absolutely love doing. Growing an online business has really completely changed my life. It's changed who I am. It's absolutely amazing. And I want to help as many other people to do the same thing because it's really not that difficult. So you may find that you end up adding things like coaching and mentoring to your offers in your business. So I hope this has given you some ideas on the things that you can do when you've really maxed out where your business is at currently. If you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing here, then hit the subscribe button, because then you'll get notifications whenever there is new videos uploaded. I'm recording a few more today around getting around having hit an income plateau and how to stop trading time for money and charge based on value in more detail. So I've got quite a few new videos coming out. So subscribe if you want to know when they're live. Share this video with anyone that you think could benefit from this. If you've got other business buddies that really are at the stage of wanting to scale up their business, then share it with them. And if you are interested in working on a one-to-one basis because you feel like you've been stuck at this stage for too long, then I have the link in the description to book a free discovery call with me, where we can talk about where you're currently stuck and what some possible ways around that might be. And I would love to help you with that, because there's no need to stay stuck. If you have the desire to do more, you can do so much more. It might just take a little bit of shifting in your business. Alrighty, so I'll see you around for the next video. If you have any other questions on this, drop me a comment. I always reply to those, and let's see what we can do to help you scale.